MAGA Republican leaders on Capitol Hill are in full collapse mode right now as the full terms of Donald Trump's surrender to Iran have been made public, and Trump officially signed this MOU in Versailles, also the location where the World War I surrender by Germany was signed, in Versailles. So what are the MAGA Republicans doing right now? What do you think they're going to do when they panic? Defraud the American people, defraud their constituents. Just hope nobody actually reads this memorandum of understanding and just frame the total defeat as a win. So you have on the Larry Kudlow show, Mike Lee, MAGA Republican senator, they're all like, look, this was a big victory. Iran is on its knees right now. This is what we wanted. Yeah, America. Here, play this clip.
You know, they'll never admit it, Senator, but we have Iran on its knees. You know, we between Operation Fury and between economic fury, epic fury and economic fury, the military side and the economic and financial side, that country has lost its capabilities. They are not the bully they once was. They don't have the capabilities. They're on their knees. They'll never admit it, but we hold the cards, don't we, sir?
We absolutely do. He's significantly degraded their military, their political leadership, their Navy specifically, other key points of infrastructure. And as a result of that, they are negotiating from a position of relative weakness while we're in a position of relative strength. So again, I applaud him for doing this and for putting America first.
Yes, sir. Senator Mike Lee, a great state of Utah. Thank you, sir.
Then you have MAGA Republican Senator Jim Banks saying, look, Donald Trump just saved Europe. He saved all of Europe by signing this memorandum of understanding. Here, play this clip.
Nuclear weapon. And what President Trump is attempting to accomplish from all of this will put him down in history as once again the president of the United States that saved Europe, saved the rest of the world, made the world a safer place by preventing Iran from having a nuclear weapon. I trust President Trump. I think this is the best way forward. The other part about all of this, Larry, too, is that we need time to rebuild our munition stockpiles, to invest in more sophisticated military weapons and technologies. So if we have to go back into Iran and hold them accountable in 3 months or 6 months, we'll be in a better position to do that thanks to President Trump's forward thinking and leadership at the Pentagon, the Department of War under Secretary Hegseth. That's an important part of this equation, too.
Well, I think
then you've got MAGA Republican Congresswoman Claudia Tenney, and she said, I think we all deserve to say to Donald Trump this evening, you're so courageous. You are incredibly wise. You are our Führer. I mean, listen to what these crazy people are saying. Here, play this clip.
Well, I think everyone should understand that this is a memorandum of understanding. It is not the final deal. I think Iran, and I just want to say up front, I think President Trump was so courageous and so incredibly wise to do what he did to start this operation. Israel did it last year. Got in between, and then we finished it off with Epic Fury. We put the Iranians in a position where they really were, I think, in a really tough spot, and they had to compromise.
One after the other. I mean, state regime media was in rare form. They bring on MAGA Republican Senator Tommy Tuberville. I trust Trump. I trust Pence. We don't need to listen to anybody else. We don't need to read anything. If they say this is good, you know what we do? We accept it. That's what we do as patriotic Americans. These are sickos, y'all. Here, play this clip.
But I trust President Trump. I trust Vice President Vance. We don't need to listen to anybody up here on Capitol Hill. Let's trust these two. They've been at this now since they've been in office. We're fortunate that our first strike was a perfect strike on about 50 to 55 of their leaders, Larry. And at the end of the day, it's the only time in my lifetime that we've had this opportunity. So let's take advantage of it and let's put the pressure on them. And again, like he said, all heck will break loose if they break this treaty.
Well, for sure. I mean, look, we've crippled them. They're on their knees. They may not admit it, but they're in surrender mode. Trump has destroyed the country for decades to come, whether they like that or not. That's the reality. I just hope we take advantage of it in these memos and other deals. Anyway, Senator Tuberville, sorry we're a wee bit short today, but thank you for your clarification.
Then you've got MAGA Republican Congress member Wesley Hunt, who said, and what makes this deal so great, what makes it amazing, is that if Iran does not adhere to it, more bombs drop on you, Iran. Let's play this clip.
Let's be absolutely clear here. As somebody that served as a diplomatic liaison officer in Saudi Arabia for 2 years and served in Iraq, this is the weakest that Iran has been in decades. This might be the weakest that they've ever been in the history of this country. We have decapitated their leadership. We have destroyed their navy. We own their airspace. And the gasping cries of a crying animal for them was to close the Strait of Hormuz. Now that will be opened. And what we have done is we have cut off their BATNA. BATNA is the best alternative to a negotiating agreement, because what they know is if they do not adhere to what we have put before them, then guess what? The pain train is coming. They're going to see more bombs. They're going to see more threats from us that they're not going to be able to withstand. So the fear of that is what has driven them to the table. And also, I will tell you, in the past, nobody has been stronger in understanding the peace through strength that President Trump has put on full display. They know what's coming if they don't adhere to the rules. And now they will also never have a nuclear weapon over President Trump's watch. So I am not concerned at all with what those that may not like this deal might say, because, again, President Trump is operating from a position of strength.
Okay, so
And you've got MAGA Republican Senator Hawley. Do you see their marching orders that Donald Trump texted them? And by the way, you have a lot of hosts on state regime media, Fox, who aren't buying it. But you have like MAGA Republican Senator Josh Hawley from Missouri. He's like, and look, I don't really think we're going to be giving them any money at all. We're not giving them a dime. And then Brian Kilmeade at Fox is like, yeah, but we just removed all of the sanctions against them and created a $300 billion fund. And Hawley's like, man, those are just facts. What do you want me to do? Here, play this clip.
And it remains to be seen whether we will actually give them any money. I thought I heard the president say earlier today, we're not going to give them a dime. I certainly don't think that we should. And I bet President Trump and the vice president, as he continues these negotiations, will hold that line.
But, Senator, they are allowed to sell oil, and they have more oil than just about everyone, including Iraq. And that'll be the first time in decades they're able to sell oil on the open market. They're usually using ghost fleets and rusted out tankers to deliver it to our let's say, our rivals like China and China. Your thoughts about the fact that everyone agrees they're allowed to resume oil and petroleum sales?
I thought your last guest, I thought the ambassador had a good point there about potentially using escrow accounts, ways to track to see, first of all, if they're living up to their other obligations under the memorandum before we release any of that sales, before we allow them to get their hands on the money, and then using accounts that will allow us to ensure that they're not spending that money on terrorist activities, on nuclear enrichment, and so forth.
More from MAGA Republican Senator Jim Banks right here. And he goes, look, Donald Trump is our commander-in-chief for the next 2 years. And so this is how you know they got their marching orders. And if they break the terms of this deal, we just bomb the hell out of them. Let's play this clip.
Armed Services Committee, he joins us now. Good to have you, sir. Let's talk about the Memorandum of Understanding that has now been released. What are your initial thoughts?
Well, President Trump has made it very clear that at the end of the day, Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. And also, over the last year, we've decimated so much of Iran's military that they are so much worse off today and weakened so much more than they were 1 year ago. So this MOU is a step forward to clear the strait, a free and open Strait of Hormuz for free shipping, an opportunity to move forward with Iran to build a stronger, a healthier relationship, hopefully with them moving forward. But Rob, the one big missing piece of all of this that the media refuses to report is that Donald Trump is going to be in the Oval Office as our commander-in-chief for the next 2.5 years. And if Iran doesn't keep up their end of the deal, there will be hell to pay. Right. And Donald Trump will bomb the hell out of them if they don't do what they said they would do. And that's the missing piece of all of this. I trust President Trump. It's time to hopefully move forward, knowing that we're in a much better position and safer than we were a year ago.
That was exactly what I think was needed from the news conference today, because
You want to see what the Democrats are saying? This is Democratic Senator Chris Murphy from the great state of Connecticut. Here's what he had to say. Let's play this clip.
I mean, this is an insane deal. And while there might be confusion over when it was signed or executed, there's not a lot of confusion about what the deal is.
Yep.
It's a multi-billion-dollar payoff to Iran in exchange for nothing, right? Iran says, as you pointed out, they're not going to get a nuclear weapon. They already made that concession. They're reopening the strait. It was open before the war. They're agreeing to sit down to nuclear talks. They were willing to sit down to nuclear talks before the war began. So the agreement is basically just, we lift oil sanctions and Iran does nothing. That's it. That's a humiliation. Now, I'm somebody that wants this war to end, basically on any terms, but this is just proof positive that the war got America nothing. Iran won, Trump surrendered, and that's essentially what this deal represents.
Well, it's also when you...
And then you'll recall earlier today, Donald Trump said that because of former President Biden and Obama, we were the laughing stock. And now nobody's laughing at us right now. Dude, you literally signed the Versailles Armistice. I mean, you literally did the Treaty of Versailles, except the U.S. signed the terms of surrender. Now, let me just be very clear with all of you who are watching this. We should never have been involved in this catastrophic and unlawful war in the first place, is my view. Also, we lost this war, and so when you lose, when you break things, you fix it. Of all of the alternatives, I actually think that this deal was the only alternative. We should never have been in the war in the first place. What I'm simply pointing out, though, is that Donald Trump and all of his regime propagandists promised one thing when they went into this catastrophic war. Now the exact opposite has happened. Everything that Biden and Obama and others warned would happen if you took this approach are happening. And then these Trump idiotic cultists are like, this is 5-dimensional chess. No, it's not. You should never have gone into the war, and now you are the laughing stock. You have turned America into some Trump meme coin stock. We're the United States of America, damn it. How did you do this to us? It's so frustrating. This is an understatement. And you've caused so much pain to the American people. Anyway, here's what Trump said. Let's play it.
It's bigger and better and stronger. We're more respected as a country right now, I think, than we ever have been. And we were a laughing stock 2 years ago. They would laugh at us. We had a man that should have never been there. You know that. A man that would walk up to a podium once every year, and they'd ask him, what flavor ice cream do you like? I like vanilla. Then he'd try and find the stairs, which he couldn't find most of the time, and he'd leave. This is very unfair reporting. And then you said you didn't know about that. You didn't know there was something wrong. We can never let that happen to our country again. To me, the worst. We had the worst inflation ever. We had the worst in prices and the costs. It's all coming down now because the oil is bringing it down. You're going to see numbers that are going to be amazing. But this evening...
There you have it, everybody. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. And thanks for watching, y'all.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.